जय श्री माता जी। हम सभी परम पूजनीय श्री माता जी को नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे। We will all bow down to Shri Mata Ji and take बंधन। तीन महामंत्र और श्री गणेश मंत्र। संतुलन के लिए हम अपने दाएं हाथ को भूमि पर रखेंगे और बाएं हाथ को श्री माता जी की ओर रखेंगे। फॉर बैलेंसिंग We will place our right hand on Mother Earth and left hand towards Shri Mataji. हम सभी प्रार्थना करेंगे, श्री माताजी कृपा करके हमारे ईड़ा नाड़ी को संतुलित कर दीजिए, निर्मल कर दीजिए। श्री माताजी, please balance our left channel and enlighten it. अब हम अपने दाएं हाथ को अपने गोद पे रख देंगे और बाएं हाथ को उठाकर आकाश की ओर करेंगे। We'll place our right hand on our lap and raise our left hand towards the sky. प्रार्थना करेंगे, श्री माता जी कृपा करके हमारे पिंगला नाड़ी को संतुलित कर दीजिए, निर्मल कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, please balance our right channel and enlighten it. हम अपने बाएं हाथ को श्री माता जी की ओर कर लेंगे। We'll place our left hand towards श्री माता जी। दोनों हाथ श्री माता जी की ओर और अपने चित्त को सहस्त्रार पे लेंगे। Keeping both of our hands towards श्री माता जी, we will keep our attention on सहस्त्रार. We will pray, Shri Mataji, please give us the depth of meditation and the joy of your cool divine vibrations. श्री माता जी, कृपा करके आप हमें ध्यान की गहनता प्रदान कीजिए और आपके परम चैतन्य का आनंद प्रदान कीजिए। इसी ध्यान अवस्था में हम परम पूजनीय श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी सुनेंगे। We'll continue to be in this meditative state and listen to Shri Mataji's speech.
Is the Shesha, as they call it, the serpent which sleeps in the Bhavasagar, on which Sri Vishnu rests. The same Shesha had taken birth as Sri Ram. Now, for a Western mind, you see, to them, snakes are sort of, if you talk about snakes, for them only they know the Adam and Eve snake. That's all. They don't understand anything. And they can't understand why people worship snakes. You see, snakes are like cobra and all that. They are like the kings. You see, they are the kings of the underground. And Shesha is the one who supports the whole universe. So this Shesha is worshipped, as the cobras are worshipped in many villages in India, even today. You see, because they don't trouble anyone. Because they are like deities are worshipped in India. And they don't sometimes they do, but mostly they do not bite a good religious man. There's a story of Sainath where a what do you call it, snake charmer was given a lot of money just to kill Sri Sainath. And he, because Sainath used to in the night suddenly go up to his own swing he had made about 30 feet above the ground. God knows. Nobody knew how he used to go there, but they would find him sleeping up there. So the snake was taken by this snake charmer, and he put the snake onto Sainath. And the snake went there, and Sainath talked to him. And he said, "Oh God, you've come here to meet me after such a long time. And what is your job?" He said, "This horrible snake charmer has asked me to bite you. So I've come to tell you, be careful about these people." This snake charmer was looking with amazement that she was talking to him. He said, "All right, you go now." He talked to him. These are age-old snakes, you see. So the snake went and bit the but then he came down, you see, from his thing, and he sucked his poison and threw it. Because after all, you see, he said the snake is angry with you because he tried such a trick. So he sucked him. That's compassion. That's compassion. And he sucked his venom out, and the fellow was completely changed. And he said, "Now I'm going to uh, announce it to all the people what these Brahmins tried to kill, that they wanted to kill Sri Sainath. And for why? Why were they so frightened of this man? He used to live outside the village, and they were so frightened of him because they were doing all wrong things in the name of God. So they were all frightened that they'll be exposed. So this is what it is, that he sleeps on the Shesha. And Shesha is the one who is sometimes expressed in Sahajogis, I've seen, as anger when you try to be non-protocolish, or when you try to be funny, or you don't behave yourself. That's the Shesha in them. That is also sometimes needed. You have to be a Shesha sometimes, because otherwise people will start misbehaving, and by that they will be harmed. Not that I will be harmed, but they will be harmed. So that kind of temperament is also needed. But the other one is very interesting, is that of Bharata, the brother. He showed how Sri Rama bestowed the kingdom to him because of his mother's agitation. And he didn't know what to do. So because he went back to Rama and he said that, to take back your kingdom, I don't want anything. You are the one who should govern. Why should I have it? So Rama said, all right, you just be there in charge of the kingdom. I have to obey my father. I have to obey my mother because I have given them a promise. So Sri Rama's another great quality was, once given a promise, is to be kept. This is another quality we have to have, that if you have promised anything, you have to keep it. If you have said, I will do this, you must do it. You should not find out excuses to avoid it. It's absolutely an anti-God activity to avoid doing things that you have promised. Your deities will never be happy. You must see that whatever you have promised, you must do. Now, when Bharata was sent back by him, he said, all right, give me your sandals, which I'll take there and I'll use them as if that's a symbol of you being there. And he put those sandals on the throne and he ruled that kingdom and looked after Bharata. Though he was, when he was going to see Rama, then Lakshmana saw him coming and he said, look at this. He's coming here to invade you now. He has thrown you out of the kingdom and now he's coming to invade you. So this is also I've seen among Sahajogis, that the Sahajogis who are like Shesha cannot see also the goodness of other Sahajogis who are very good people, extremely sacrificing, nice people, but their intentions are not understood or misunderstood, which is a very sad thing. You must see the intentions of another type of people also, who may not be so hot-tempered, may not be so much angry, but their intentions are very good. They have come actually to ask for the sandals of Sri Ram. So among these two type of people I have seen, there is always a bit misunderstanding going on. So both the types of people should try to understand that we both are needed for Sahaja. I cannot only do with one type of people. We have to have both type of people who look after both the styles of the thing. But when you are dealing with others, one should go as one. For example, if a person is, say, coming to Caxton Hall and he says something, then you should weigh it whether he's a new one or an old one. If he's a new one, then you must show all gentleness, kindness, all kinds of exterior things which will please. The reason is he's not a realized soul. He doesn't see your subtle thing. What he sees is what you are outside. How you are dressed, how you talk to them, how you behave towards them. All these things they see first. They don't see what you have got inside. They can't see your heart. They can't feel your vibration. So you have to be very kind to them. You have to be very sweet to them. I received a letter from someone saying that the Sir Yogis have been very, very rude to me and have been angry. Like the other day, somebody came who was sitting at the back. They are trying to salvage the, what you call, the people who are lost by the cults or whatever it is. He was sitting at the back, and when I said, come forward, and he didn't come, so you said, you get out. You should not say. Let me say. That time you should be quiet. Nobody should say, get out, if you are not going. Because, you see, the thing is, if you say, we don't care for people who are not humble, then they are going to be lost in any case. Let us give them a fair chance. Let us give them a fair chance to come into Sahaja Yoga, first by your behavior. Now, some people have a habit of sort of talking to them a bit too much. They should not talk. That's one thing I feel, that while giving vibrations and all that, at the most you should ask, are you feeling any cool breeze? It's one thing I feel, that while giving vibrations and all that, at the most you should ask, are you feeling any cool breeze? With very humble way. And this is another quality of Sri Rama, is a sankoch. There's no word in English language, because you have formality, which is a very insipid word to describe sankoch. Because there is no integration between your heart and formality. But if you can think of a formality of the heart, then what do you call that? What will you call in English language? The formality of the heart.
Sincerity.
Huh?
Sincerity.
No, sincerity is different. It's an action. Sincerity is an abstract thing. But formality from the heart. You see, how to say such a thing?
Honestly. Honestly.
Huh?
Honestly.
What is it?
Honestly.
What is it?
Honestly.
No, not honesty. These are all abstract words. In action. You see, say, so for example, now I'm sitting, now they bring me a cup, alright? It's a broken cup, for example. You go to somebody's house, it's a little broken. So, if an Indian is there, I don't know about Western side, he'll eat, he'll drink it. He will not say anything, it's broken already. But maybe somebody might say, it's a broken cup. It's broken. Or say, you go to somebody's house, see, and you don't like a color scheme or something. So, for an Indian person, it would be not proper to immediately say like that. For an Indian. The formality of the heart. You see, not to say something in such a way that you touch the wrong side of the person is sankocha. Now, to such an extent, Sri Rama had. That there's a good story. I think I said it before also, but again I'll repeat it, which is described in the another Ramayana written by Tulsidasa. Though Tulsidasa was not a realized soul, but some points he is brought out very well. He says that Sri Rama was putting the arrows into the against the heads of Ravana, and he had 10 heads, and he had a boon that every head that falls off, another head will come. He had a boon like that. So his brother says, "What are you doing? You know that he cannot die by killing him by putting the arrows across his head. You have to put it in his heart, otherwise he will not die." So the Sankocha comes in him, and he said, "See, in his heart, he has got my wife because he loves her, and she's sitting in his heart. How can I hit him in the heart? She'll be hurt." See the delicacy of his understanding. So he said, then by hitting his head, is he going to be killed? He said, you see, attention, once it is going towards his head, his attention will be withdrawn from his heart. And once the attention is withdrawn, my wife will not be there anymore, then I'll hit him and I'll kill him. So see this sankoch. You see, then you will understand that how we are rude and arrogant. You see, this kind of arrogance and rudeness comes to us because we have no sankocha. We should not say everything to everyone. We need not. Should we say everything? Say, for example, in your puja, maybe you are doing something which should not be done. I know it's wrong. Unless until absolutely wrong, I will not tell. I said that. Because otherwise, you become like this. She tensed up. You must see Linda's face if I tell her anything. She goes into. So, you see, that sankocha, that understanding comes if you love someone and understand. Now, you have to love all the seekers of the world. They have done wrong, they have done all kinds of ego trips, they have done all kinds of mistakes, but your mother loves them and you have to love them. If they are to be corrected, I'll do that. You just don't do that way that they feel hurt. Put a sankocha. While talking to each other, educate yourself. Train yourself to say things which are sweet and nice, which will make another person feel that this person is a properly brought up person in Sahaja Yoga tradition. So we have a Sahaja Yoga tradition also, in which when we speak to each other, we have that sankocha within us of Shree. And if you do not have that sankocha, you get the right heart. And that right heart is a very dangerous thing in a country like England where the climate is so bad, because it gives you a horrible thing called asthma. I'm not frightening you, but it's true. You get asthma if your right heart is gone. Not necessarily that asthma all comes from only right heart, can also come from center heart. But you get right heart, you definitely get asthma. So the attitude, you see, like your father. I've heard people talking to father also in such a funny way. You can't talk to your father like that. They talk to me also very rudely. I mean, I've seen people so joking, shockingly sometimes, on a very mundane level, or you can say on a very unprotocolish way, get you into right heart. So this sankoch one has to learn. The maryada means the boundaries of your relationships. You see, we love each other doesn't mean that we go on aggressing others' privacies. To what extent you love each other doesn't mean that you go in such a way that you try to transgress all the beauties and all the privacies of another person. See, somebody walks into the bedroom. That is not the way surgery is. I may not tell, but you must knock if you have. And knock at a time when you need it. All the time to knock or to hang on to someone all the time is not. Sankocha is a complete cultural stuff. So we have a cultural tradition which we have to learn from Shree. He is known for his sankocha every time. How to say this? I cannot say. We have this very much ingrained within us. The children are to be educated in that way, and once they are educated that way, they will learn the sankocha, and that will give them a proper understanding of social life. Like you now see, this light is here. If you put your finger to it, it might burn and you may remove your finger. But if you are with another person, and if you try to take liberties with that person, a day may come when that person will misbehave or will harm you or do something to you. But still you will not realize it is because you have no sankoch it has happened. So this sankoch has to be worked out very beautifully in every way. In thanksgiving, in accepting somebody's gratitude, in expressing your love to another person in a way that is a sankoch. Now, Sri Rama is known for his boundaries. He doesn't cross the limit. The other day, I told you about food, that you don't cross the boundaries of food, like being compassionate to the bugs and to the mosquitoes. You see, in the same way, in everything, discretion of the heart should be there. Now, there is no word for discretion of the heart in English language, which is Maryada. Discretion of the heart. Is to understand, say example, if you are rude to your father, what do you gain? You gain nothing. But if you are humble, you might gain over. With your father, all right. Even if he is a bad man. Because what happens in reaction, if you say psychologically, supposing you are a son of a father who is doing something wrong and you are obedient to him, he will always have a fear that he will lose you if you fall in your ideas. So by that humility, you will raise it. If you are humble, if your behavior towards your parents is like Shree Rama's, there's nothing to lose. You don't compromise in your any principles or anything. In day-to-day things, like that your father is sitting. I mean, in India, if the father is there, you won't sit down before him. You won't sit at any cost. Till he tells you 10 times, you won't sit before. It helps, you know. Then it reacts on the father that supposing if I misbehave, my child will not respect. So the sense of respect also comes from your heart. That's only possible if you know that Maryada from your heart. How far to go? What is the need to be rude to your father? No need at all. At any cost. What is the need? Or to your husband? Or to your wife? Why say anything harsh to anyone? What is the need? What are you going to gain out of it? By saying anything harsh, I have not seen people have improved. Only when a guru is harsh, or the mother or father are harsh to the children, it helps. Nowhere else it helps. In common relationships, like brothers, sisters, it does not, and higher and low. The lower person have to bear the harshness of elders if they want to. There's nothing. After all, they are not going to throttle you. Supposing even if you say something bad, it doesn't matter. All right. You try to, and there what one has to remember what Christ has said, that you must put another cheek. So use the heart's discretion, how far to go to a person. In the effect of it, you will be a very, very powerful person. In your family, in Sahaja Yoga, anyway. Those people who are obedient to me are very powerful Sahaja Yogas. You know that. And those who are not go down very fast. I try to save them by everything. But I've seen those who are disobedient, who don't listen to me, who are rude to me, who do not understand the protocol, go down very much in Sahaja. Absolutely like that. In a second, I find they're going hundreds of feet down. It's true. Because what is lacking you is the discretion, the Maryada, how far to go. And that's another thing we have to learn to educate ourselves. So the education of Sri Rama, as it was, I told you that he could kill a demon with one arrow. You don't have to beat them 108 times. One beating should be sufficient. But you have to be powerful people, and the power of a person increases by putting Maryada. Supposing you have wheat and you just spread it, it will spread all over. Birds will come and eat it off. But if you put them in a sack, it will have a weight, it will have a size, it will raise in height, and it is useful. It will have respect. But the thing that is all spread all over, which has no Maryada, will never be respected. Nothing works out without Maryada. Even the light keeps to a Maryada. You have to keep your Maryadas. That is the part of our training. Say, for example, an aeroplane is there, and it is not bound by any Maryadas. See, it is not bound. When it goes in the air, it will all finish. All our ideas of freedom are to be bound by Maryada. If the freedom has no Maryada, it is abandonment. It is nonsense. It is not going to help us. So we have to create out of Sahaja Yogis great politicians. It has been predicted that if Sahaja Yoga does not spread, then Third World War is inevitable. People will suffer a lot with Third World War. It is possible to avoid it if people take to Sahaja Yoga in a big number. But if they do not, there will be a third world. And the effects of that will harm people so much that ultimately it is the Sahaja Yogis who will be called for a conference and not the diplomats. The Sahaja Yogis will be consulted and they will decide what is to be done for the world, and they will become the rulers of tomorrow's world. So we must have full idea how to be rulers like Shree. We have to go too far with ourselves, to training up ourselves, educating ourselves, getting rid of our egos, and understanding that we have to grow. It's a very big task. It's a great task. And sometimes you might think, how can mother expect us to do it? But I think you are the people who are chosen for it, and you have to get to it and work it out. So we have to train up ourselves to be first good rulers of ourselves and the rulers of others. First, we must learn to rule ourselves. You see, here in this body only you learn how to rule yourself. Comfort, if you get fond of comfort, make your body work it out that there's no comfort needed. If your body indulges into too much eating or anything, make your body learn that is not good to indulge in. If you speak too much, talk too much, if you are rude, just say that I'm not going to say a word from morning till evening. Take to Mauna. So the tapa is the penance time is now ahead of us. With that penance, the greatest thing that is going to help you is to go and talk of Sahaja Yoga, give the message of my advent, and also talk about how the transformation, the blossom time has come. This you have to do, plus you have to learn how to rule yourself and then how to rule others through your heart, not through your mind. You have to rule through your hearts by learning all the qualities of the heart which are true. I must congratulate you for the article you have written on blossom time. I've gone through it. I've really enjoyed it thoroughly. It's done very well. May God bless you. And I think it will have a good. I'm surprised how they have published it. Have they changed in their mind or what happened? It's amazing. Have you seen that article? It's great. Come along, come forward. And thank you very much for the nice creepers you have sent me. Why? They are so beautiful. You see, they still are under the shock, you see, because I removed them from your gentle care to mine. And mine is a little sort of flippant one now. But today we tried to do some justice to them. I'm sure we gave them a bandhan. Mean you want to be more intelligent?
No, to get rid of the rubbish, mother.
Rubbish that is in the head. See, the best one in Sanskrit is said is yan neti neti vachaner nivamo avuchus. This you go on telling your mind, this is not, this is not. Any thought that comes to your mind, you go on telling this is not this, not this, not. Then the inspiration starts coming. You see, what I feel, people are not inspired. They have got fear on one side. Suddenly you do something to them, they go into a fear, a trauma. Or else, if you try to be good to them, they go into an ego trip. So to stay in the center, what you have to do is to go on saying not this thought and not this thought. Then you will be a deep surgeon. Best is this, because intellect is nothing, so-called intellect. Only God has intelligence, nobody has. To be very frank. It's a big joke, isn't it? But it is. Everyone thinks they are intelligent, but they are not, they are stupid. See, all stupidity is considered as intelligence these days. For example, cunningness. It never pays you dividends. What is intellect? Is the only understanding of intellect as Adi Shankaracharya put it, na yoga na sankhya. All these things are good for nothing. Only service to your mother is the best. Ask your intellect, is it serving my mother? Intellect will tell you, the so-called intellect of human beings, to cheat yourself. It cheats. It gives you escapes. It cheats you. All the time the intellect is working by saying, oh, this may be good, that may be good. You see, but the real good it never sees. It's a trick of the ego. Trick of the ego. It's a choices. Ego likes choices, you see. So this is good, this is bad, this I don't like, this. All I business should be given up and say that not this, not this, not. We should come. We, not I. Now you are not anymore I's, you are we. That's how the intellect will go away. Because this intellect has gathered all kind of nonsense and it doesn't exist. That's the biggest Maya. It doesn't exist. There is no intelligence at all. What is the intelligence? It's just to understand that there is nothing like his intellect. There are nothing. You see, to explain his intellect would be something like explaining human civilization to an ant. Even that is easier. It's like that. His intellect. And it's so innocent, so simple. I mean, anybody is amazed. How can that? So the most intelligent person is the one who knows that our intellect is just an ego trip. This is the sign of pure intelligence. It's the sign of pure understanding that the heart is the ruler, there resides a spirit, which is the most intelligent thing within us, and the inspiration of the spirit is the manifestation of the pure intellect of God. And what I told you today is the intellect of the heart. But of the brain, zero. But then what's the use of the brain? Why have brain? Why not only have heart? It could be all right. But the brain is the one which acts. Heart gives the inspiration, but the brain acts on it. It's communicating. But the inspiration, the source is the heart, is the spirit. Again, connect yourself to the spirit. Intelligently, how will you explain Kundalini awakening? Leave alone Kundalini. How can you explain sprouting of the seed? Intelligently. Through your intellect. Explain. Means explain why. How? Sprouting of the seed. A simple thing. Which you see 1,001 times. How will you explain? Intellect is that says, I cannot explain. Which is a limited thing. It's ego. Nothing but ego. And once you get rid of it, then the pure intellect starts. You see, this yoga thing, you'll be amazed, you see. Who is just, he came to us as a bhoot, absolutely. He's so much changed. Now he speaks. I tell you, he speaks like a saint. I was amazed. He speaks so well sometimes that I want to quote him sometimes, the way he speaks about something. I'm amazed how he has started talking like that. So whatever you have to say, relate it to the spirit. You will talk like saints. Relate it to spirit, not to anything else. Relate it to spirit, and you'll be amazed. He told me that there are many people in this world who are absurd. I said, how do you know? He says, because they don't want to know anything about you. I don't know why are they here and why have you created them. You see, he was a person with so many boots on his head. He's such a beautiful man, I tell you. He says this your servant is all right, but he has to learn certain things if he has to live well. He doesn't have neatness because his mind is not neat. He has to be a cleaner person, but his mind is not clean. His heart is all right, but the mind should be clean. I was amazed at him. He's not an educated man or anything, just an ordinary person. But they start talking like prophets. I think you better read some of the prophets. You will also start talking like that. Read Kabir, Khalil Gibran, all these people. What is plague? He was a prophet too. You can talk like him. Why not? He talked to his spirit, isn't it? Pure intelligence. Then you became Sri Rama, if you can do that. So today is a great day. I'm happy you could come, and it has worked out so well that I was going to come here and talk about Sri Ram. I wish you all
जय श्री माता जी। परम पूजनीय श्री माता जी, कृपा करके आप हमें श्री सीता जी और श्री राम के मर्यादा, उनके तत्व और उनके गुणों से आशीर्वादित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, प्लीज ब्लेस अस with the powers, the essence and the qualities of Shri Sita and Shri Rama. श्री माता जी, हमें सामूहिक ध्यान का आनंद प्रदान करने के लिए अनंत कोटि धन्यवाद। श्री माता जी, thank you for today's collective meditation. We'll bow down to Shri Mata ji and take बंधन। हम सभी श्री माता जी के चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे। जय श्री माता जी।